Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back here on the bridge, and today, yes, we will be giving our recommendations on what premium T6 Starship to get for your event campaign 6 and or aka 2024/2025. Captains, before we get into this video, do us a huge favor, hit that like button to help the video and overall channel out. But also, if you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing here to the YouTube bridge, where we're always on the lookout for like-minded captains to share our love, passion for Star Trek Online, but also things Star Trek. Now, with that said, here we go. Yes, captains, as you can see, we are here on the Star Bridge on our Galaxy, which is going to be one of our recommendations for this year's T6 premium ship. So what I want to do in this video is kind of quickly go over our last year's top recommendations and then go into this year's recommendations for the event campaign number 6. So, as we know, last year marked the change of them changing the event campaign reward, where we got all the rewards. So the 1500 low buy, the 2 tier 6 ship coupons, which is already on our channel here, so I'll also link that in the description and or at the end card there. And of course, the tier 6 premium choice. So we've given our recommendations for the low buy, we've given our recommendations for the tier 6 ships, and now for the final recommendations of the event campaign 6, which is the T6 premium ship. Now, from last year's event, it actually stopped here at the Excel 2 Intel heavy cruisers. So since then, they've added these 10 ships. So we're gonna go off the Star Bridge here quickly. We'll close off this and then turn on screen that. So this is our video from last year, 2024, almost a year to the date when we made the recommendation. And as you can see, the last new ship that they added there was the Excel 2. So how the event campaigns work, if you're new here, captains, is in the event campaign, they put in the premium ships of the previous year. So any ships that are released the same year as the event, they will only be available the following year. So keep that in mind. With that said, as I mentioned, we already did this video. So from this video, we're going to just do a little quick recap of the recommendations quickly, and of course why. It's not going to be the full recommendation. Like I said, if you want to watch this video again, we'll put it there at the end, because it is actually going over the full recommendation that I had. It's about a 30-minute video. So the first ships that are up here that we recommend are both the Jem'Hadar ships here. So the first one here is this one, which is the Jem'Hadar Recon and the Jem'Hadar Strike ship. Now, most importantly, why I'm recommending this is for the trait, which what they go have the ships have here, which is go for the kill, which extends cannon rapid fire. So captains, if you love your Defiance, I'm talking mostly to my Defiant captains, and if you love keeping that cannon with the one N, C-A-N-O-N look, then cannon rapid fire is your best friend on your Defiant. And of course, the trait here, go for the kill, extends the actual duration so that you can have it pretty much uptime the whole time you're in the mission. Now, the differences between the two is just now, of course, up to you if you actually even like the bug ship. So the Recon ship here is a pilot and intel. So it has a lieutenant commander pilot and a lieutenant universal intel. The strike ship, on the other hand, has lieutenant commander intel and lieutenant universal command. So keep that in mind of the differences between the two. And of course, they do have different looking skins. Now, they did come out after these two ships with the legendary bug ship, which of course will then come with the trait as well. But if you want to just use your T6 premium choice pack here, well then this is a good recommendation that I will give to you, captains. Next up is this ship right here, the actual mirror warship, which is from the Discovery show there that had recently been finished off. So on top of it being an actual Constitution, and one of my favorite designs that you can actually use the original skin, of course, not particularly this one. This actually is, of course, a good performing ship with 5-3 weapon layout. Does have a Lieutenant Commander Universal Intelligence seating, but the good thing about this ship definitely is the trait, Terran Goodbye Starship trait. Whenever you defeat a foe, you will gain a temporary boost to critical hit chance and accuracy rating that lasts for several seconds and stacks up to 3 times. So still a trait that I see used until this day. I personally still don't have it, but we'll probably be getting it here because we actually have a couple of our campaign rewards still sitting there in boxes. Surprise, surprise. But it is still a good trait, and the ship itself is still pretty good in my opinion. Next up, the Cerritos, or the California class from Star Trek Lower Decks. This is a very good performing ship. It is a miracle worker ship here, and it's the hero ship, of course, of Lower Decks, and it's hard pressed for me not to recommend it. I wasn't going to get it first, but I'm glad I got it. It is a great ship to fly around. It's fun, and definitely a ship that you can load up your ISO mags on and go full on phaser crazy if you wanted to. So that is that recommendation. Next up, the Delkina Warbird, of course, from Star Trek Picard. It is a very powerful ship still, in my opinion, and it does come with a tactical command and a Lieutenant Commander Universal Intel. But definitely a ship, and really looks pretty. One of the best looking Romulan designs to come out of Star Trek, in my opinion. I absolutely love it, and I got it for my Romulan tune, and don't regret that decision at all. So still recapping last year's recommendations, the Sagan Command Cruiser. Well, there's a surprise there, me recommending the ship that has command. So as you can see with this ship itself, Commander Engineering Command, and a Lieutenant Commander Science Temp. But still, a full torp boat, not necessarily a full torp boat, but a torp boat that you can definitely use. I've loved this ship, don't regret it, and still highly recommend it, especially if you love the aesthetics, because that's what my initial recommendations always will be based on aesthetics, cosmetics, and it doesn't hurt that it also performs very well when you build it as a torp boat. Next up, well, the Inquiry Battle Cruiser. Now, keep in mind, this version of this Inquiry still has the barbecue grill deflector. And it's not my favorite look. I love how in most of the shots that you see of the ship, they're not showing the deflector. For good reasons, it's kind of ugly. Now, they've recently fixed that with the legendary Inquiry, but it's still, for this one, it's still the barbecue grill. Now, this particular one comes with a Commander Engineering Miracle Worker and Commander Universal Intelligence. So still a pretty strong, powerful cannon scatter volley ship that you can still make use. And of course, if you loved, the Picard series, when I first saw the ship, I was very, very excited, but then quickly went away and got the deflector. But thankfully, they fixed it with giving it an actual proper deflector, but still a great and powerful performing ship in my opinion. Next up, the XL2 is a great looking ship. We actually have made some videos on the Obina that will have, and that can actually kit bash with the XL2. One of the reasons, of course, that we want to recommend this, not just because the Commander Engineering Intel and Commander Science or Lieutenant Commander Miracle Worker, but it's because of its console. This thing is absolutely fun and hilarious. Just a symphony of beam thaw overload is what I call it. It's called experimental power redirection. It gives you a mix of fire at will 3 and beam overload 3. and a large bonus to energy weapon damage based on the sum of your shield engine aux power. That's insane, in my opinion. So as you can see here, the console also applies a bonus to energy weapon damage and Starship weapon amplification. So it's absolutely awesome. I love using this on a lot of my energy builds, and the ship itself is a great update to the Excelsior look, in my opinion. So there is that. Next up, the D7 Miracle Worker Flight Deck Cruiser. For its trait, the ship itself is pretty good. Don't get it twisted. Command Engineer Miracle Worker Station, Lieutenant Universal Command Station. So it has command, so it's great. But it's a trait. Starship trait, the ruin of our enemies, that's still used on a lot of builds that I see till this day. So after achieving a level 5 D7 Miracle Worker Flight Deck Cruiser Mastery, you will unlock the ruin of our enemies Starship trait. While this trait is slotted, defeating a foe will grant a small amount of bonus damage. Each defeat, while affected by this buff, will increase the amount in addition to resetting the remaining duration. Every 5th defeat will additionally grant you significant reduction to bridge officer recharge times over a short duration. Destroying torpedoes and small craft does not count, though, for the purpose of this buff. So trait is absolutely still used to this day and is an amazing trait. And of course, the ship itself looks pretty good still, in my opinion. So there is that. Next up is a ship that we pretty much always state in most of our builds, at least like 90% of our builds, especially really actually almost 99.9, regardless if it's an energy and or torpedo boat. It's the Deimos Pilot Destroyer, which of course is also still from Picard. Now the ship itself has a Commander Tactical Pilot and a Commander Tactical Intelligence, so again, great candidate for cannon scatter volley. But it's the universal console that comes with it, the Emulating Phaser Lance. This multi-purpose device is well suited for an asteroid removal, planetary defense, or general widespread destruction. After a short charge period, it channels a massive burst of phaser damage out in front of your ship into a target and nearby area. The console can store enough power for 6 shots at a single time, but takes time to recover both between shots and to build the charge back up. Console also provides a passive boost of phaser damage and Starship shield penetration. Now, this was my first event choice when it comes to the ship because of the lance. I'm not gonna lie. I love the Galaxy X. I love the ship. But the lance on that thing cannot hit the side of a starbase. It really can't. I'll be right in front of a target, it'll be right in front of me. I don't see it hitting. Visually, it looks like it's hitting, but actually performatively, no, it doesn't hit. It actually misses, even though it hits out 2 or 3 lances. So I definitely got this for that purpose, was the main purpose, but performatively, it also helps and really pairs good with Universal Design's trait, which of course will be coming up in our other recommendation here soon. So this in itself is great. I wish it was orange, but it's red. It doesn't matter. It's a great console in my opinion, and really why we're still recommending it until this day. Next up, talking about Universal Designs, well, this is the ship that it comes on, the Crossfield Refit. Now, this ship in itself is beautiful. I did not like the original Discovery design. This ship makes a lot more sense, in my opinion. So definitely picked it up, and I don't regret it whatsoever. Itself, though, it does come with Commander Science Miracle Worker and Lieutenant Universal Command for his officer seat. So again, we've made use of it. It is more of a psi focus ship, but that's okay. It works. You're a fan of Discovery and the show there, of course, this also comes with the Quajon, or aka Chicken Wing is what I call it, console there, which you can then launch that Quajon Chicken Wing assault craft. But here is the trait that we're recommending for as well, which is a bonus. The ship first and foremost is beautiful, but this is a bonus. Universal Designs. Each time you activate an ability of a universal console, so again, keep in mind, the Emulating Phaser Lance has 6 charges. Your ship gains a boost to universal critical hit chance and critical severity. Each activation of this trait refreshes the duration of all existing stacks. and you may have up to 5 stacks active simultaneously. Of course, per activation stack for 20 seconds, plus 2% critical chance, plus 10 critical severity. So the trait was a bonus coming with the ship. This ship, in terms of its look, makes more sense and how they did it in the story because it's way in the future. So have no problems recommending this ship still till this day. Next up, you've heard me talk about the ship on pretty much all my builds. It's the prototype Dreadnought, aka the Atlas class. So the ship itself is a Lieutenant Commander Tactical Temporal and Lieutenant Engineering Command. So we can make work of it. But the reason why we are recommending it is that the console, the dynamic power redistributor module. This is like sometimes my only survivability on my builds. So the Atlas class Dreadnought cruiser comes equipped with a dynamic power redistributor module, or DPRM for short. Starships equipped with this console are capable of greatly strengthening their structural integrity field for a short time, thus providing a large increase to hull regeneration rate and damage resistance rating. Additionally, this power can be redirected from structural integrity field to other systems to provide a large boost to all outgoing damage as long as the Starship's hull strength remains at 80% or above. This console also provides a passive bonus to all energy damage resistance rating and directed energy damage. This console may be equipped on any Starship. Now, this Starship console, so the console itself, can also be paired, and I also paired with the warhead, bombardment warhead console that comes from the NX, and the two-piece of that gives 33% phaser directed energy damage. So, love that console. I have no regrets in getting it and still recommend it highly till this day for any captain, especially if you're new. Don't be afraid to get that. And if you're in the TOS look, you also get this cool looking Ford Nacelle Dreadnought TOS looking style ship. So there is that. So those are my quick recommendations for the first half of this video in terms of my previous 2024 recommendation. Now on to the new ships and what the new ships have been added to the tier list of the premium ships. So first up is the Theseus. Now, I did not know about the ship, but this is coming from IDW. I have been a huge fan of crossovers and or ships coming into Star Trek Online from, I guess now, from comics. This is a comic-based design ship that has come into Star Trek Online. So I'm a huge fan of that. Of course, we're having ships from older games come into as well. Now, the ship itself is not the best looking. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it has designs. It has the hull, secondary hull, nacelles, but the configuration itself kind of falls short. The deflector kind of just looks goofy, in my opinion. But I've heard the ship is very powerful when you build it out correctly. Now, it comes with a Commander Tactical Miracle Worker and a Lieutenant Commander Temp Op. Nothing too special though. I've never really seen it used a lot in terms of it out there other when it's first, but it is a ship available to you. If you're a huge fan of the Theseus, well then there you go. It's gonna be a part of last year's or event 6 campaigns event prize. So there is that. I don't own the ship, so just let me just put that out there. The next ship is the Shrike. Now, this ship, of course, was the enemy ship in Season 3 of Picard, and we are so thankful, humbled that Admiral Mikey actually gifted us this ship, and I will say, highly recommended. I don't like a lot of alien designs, but this one particularly works. Maybe because it looks like a Batwing, but that's just me, especially when you look at it from above. You see there, it's a great performing ship. There's nothing wrong with it. It's Commander Tactical Intelligence and Commander Engineering Miracle Worker, so you can definitely make cannons work on this. It is a 5-3 weapon layout. It has the Juggernaut Array, which is a actual, like its innate ability. Deals Polaron damage, but whatever. Now, it's kind of cool, and this is what I keep saying when it comes to showing us GIFs of the actual consoles or traits or whatever, is to actually show a GIF of it in action so captains can make that decision and, you know, maybe even better to get a ship. Now, this is the portal device. that they actually even used on Picard, so it's cool. It's kind of a gimmicky device, but it's fun, to be honest. When we made this ship build, we used it, and we definitely had fun. Again, thank you to Admiral Mikey for gifting it to us, but I don't have any problem in recommending this because it's one of the actual alien designs in Star Trek that I do actually love, and it was in the Picard series there. So again, great ship in my opinion. Next up, the assimilator, the Borg assimilator. Now, huge shout out to Documents 1000 who supports us on the console bridge. He gifted us this ship. So I have this ship on the PS4 bridge, and it's massive. It's if you were looking for a Borg ship and you wanted it to feel imposing, well, this ship definitely fits that bill. The Borg Juggernaut is small compared to this. This is actually pretty massive and impressive. Now, this is a ship from another game, from Star Trek Armada. We didn't play it, so this ship you can actually still see in a lot of the TFO missions now because they've replaced a lot or the majority of the cubes with this. I still wish they wouldn't have like, a ratio of like 1 to 2 cubes as opposed to like 2 to 1, in my opinion. But it's a great ship. It's fun. It comes with all these lovely stuff, and I just recommend it because it's a Borg ship. But what is it? It's a Commander Engineering Miracle Worker and a Lieutenant Commander Science Command. So I've used it as a torp boat, or I've just used it there on... I would use it if I have this on PC. I'd definitely use it as a torp boat. There on console, well, I've just used it for what I had, and I just used the beams on it, and it was fun. It got me through the missions, and it was just fun seeing the huge ship there. And whenever we took it out, have other captains, form up with this. It's just impressive in my opinion. So no problems to recommend it because of that reason. Now, this ship I'm recommending because of the support builds, and I've been told by a good friend of ours, Nick, and also Spencer, casual SAB, that this ship is pretty darn good when it comes to that, especially if you're into the DPS chase scene. And one of the sort of side things that you do as a DPS chaser is also have support builds, and this definitely comes with a strong, I believe it's a trait that it comes with that is so good, but it actually has also a universal console that helps your hangar pets. But again, I can't really speak too much about this ship when it comes to its support, but I know that Spencer and Nick have gotten multiple tunes this ship because of how good it is support-wise and what it can do for your build. So the universal console that transfer power emitters, activating console provides a target non-self ally with a sizable boost to critical chance, increased dramatically if your target is a hangar pet or separated ship segment. Whenever your ally critically strikes, a blast of electrical energy is released, damaging both your ally's target and up to 2 other nearby foes. So AoE damage. This damage is increased dramatically if your ally is a hangar pet or separated segment and is improved by weapon power of the ally. So this console edition increases to critical strike chance, hangar pet critical strike chance, and hull restoration skill. The Starship trait, Cooperation, is the dominant strategy. Using a bridge officer or console ability on an ally provides bonus damage. This buff stacks up to 5 times, lasts 30 seconds, and each new application refreshes the duration of all stacks. If the target is a hangar pet, it receives a much larger bonus. So that's kind of crazy. That's definitely sounding a good supporting console and trait in my opinion. So no worries in recommending that. Next up, this has changed energy builds with this ship, the Gorn Hunter Pilot Raider. Itself, I don't have it. I don't like it. It does the spinny flying thing, which I just don't like personally. And it's from Strange New World, so it is a canon ship with one N, CANON. It features a Commander Tactical Pilot and a Lieutenant Commander Universal Miracle Worker. But the thing about it that is good is the trait, Complex Plasma Fires. This has really caused plasma to go way above and beyond in terms of the top energy type to use on your ship paired with this trait. So each time you use an energy weapon firing mode, your plasma weapon volleys will add a stacking plasma damage over time. So a dot effect to the hit foe. This dot stacks up to 100 times. If the targeted shield facing is down, deal additional plasma damage. So just that description alone, it sounds insane. Energy weapon firing modes are Beam, Fire at Will, Beam Overload, Cannon Scatter Volley, which is still one of the strongest builds now you can see being used in Star Trek Online as of the drop of this video. Cannon Rapid Fire, Surgical Strikes, reroute reserves to weapons, and exceed rated limits. Changes to the chemical composition of the plasma produce deadly knock-on effects. The modified plasma causes spitting fires, which is a type of the fire that frequently creates gouts of ejecta that spread the hazard over the surface of the ship. This has a cumulative effect, eventually bringing down even the largest of prey. So tooltip here, during energy weapon firing modes, plasma weapons apply stacking plasma damage per second for 30 seconds and ignores shields, scales with weapon power. If shields are down, applies additional direct plasma damage. So yeah, it's a pretty strong trait. And if you have a plasma build and or transfer to a plasma build using this trait, you're gonna get some good performance boosts. Trust. Next up is the Dauntless 2. Now, we were also gifted this ship by Admiral Mikey. Thank you again for gifting us this. I will say that the looks of it, not so good. I actually called it the Mauser. Well, actually, I didn't. A good friend of ours, Mr. Christopher, said it looks like a Mauser from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it does. We did release a recent video of this, and I will say I did have fun because it has command. So in itself, the command performance was great. The seating for, I mean, look at it. Look, Mauser, right there, right there. Now, this ship, of course, is from Star Trek Prodigy, so it's a canon ship, again, with one N, C-A-N-O-N. But the reason why I loved it performatively is because, well, it includes a Commander Science Command and Lieutenant Commander Engineering Temp Ops. So it worked well. I think we got probably north of 500K easily out of the box on it. The console itself is pretty fun, I'm gonna say, especially when I'm doing like a quantum build, which we will be doing, or we did already. I believe as of the drop of this video, we've already released a Lamar. And yeah, we used this because, yeah, you have a bunch of visual quantum torp, so it was fun. Was it the most hard-hitting torpedo console? Probably not, but it was still good. The passive ability is it gives a bonus to maximum aux, but projectile weapons training and exotic particle training as well. So the Starship trait, I'm being told, is broken, but it sounds good. After achieving a level 5 in your Dauntless 2 Command Science Dreadnought, you will unlock the Vanguard Shield Shaping Starship trait. While this trait is slotted, activating a Bridge Officer Torpedo firing mode or exotic damage ability grants bonus kinetic damage and forward shield facing. In each case, the mechanism is the same. Particle projectors are used to bias the shield forward, creating an overcharged region of the field. So, torpedoes passing through this region receive knock-on benefits as the excess shield energy is shunted into their warheads. Yeah, sure. This is very bad for the longevity of the warhead, but since torpedoes fired in combat tend not to spend much time in storage, the trade-off is acceptable. Now, I'm told the trait is broken. Whether it's been fixed as of the drop of this video, I'm not sure. I'm recommending the ship because performatively, I had fun with it. I really did. And even though the ship is not my favorite looking, it was fun to fly. And I've flew it more than once, to be honest. And again, we thank Admiral Mikey. But again, if you're also loving the series Prodigy, well, this ship definitely is a ship that you can use, because Admiral Janeway used this ship, and this is supposedly the original Dauntless, which the Dauntless was based on from Voyager years ago. That's why I don't like prequels, in all honesty, but whatever. It is what it is. That is the Dauntless there. No problem recommending it. Next up, well, speaking of Prodigy, well, yeah, the Protostar, again, gifted to us by Admiral Mikey, and flying it was really fun. The look of it is pretty good. As you can see there, it has the right cues there, and it has the animation in transwarp and sector space of what you saw on Prodigy. So it is a temp ship, so of course we just kind of put a torp build on it ourselves, because I'm not a Saifu captain, but it does come with a Commander Science temp and a Lieutenant Commander Engineering Miracle Worker. In terms of what it comes with, the Reformed Living Construct and or the Hexagrid Shield Focusing, it's not really anything to write home about, but the Proto-Warp is cool. This vessel has a powerful and experimental Proto-Warp drive that improves and replaces the Slipstream drive using sector space. It also replaces the visual elements of Transwarp. So this ship has that unique look in sector space, and of course was the hero ship, or is the hero ship of Prodigy. So regardless, we were going to collect the ship anyways for our collection, but we were thankful that Admiral Mikey gifted it to us, and it was a fun ship, I will say. Very small and tiny, but a lot of fun. Next up, the Texas class from Lower Decks. Huge shout out to Nick, who gifted us the ship. Now, the reason why he gifted us the ship was the console that came on it. Now, I did enjoy this ship on Lower Decks when we saw it, and it's again, you can't go wrong with a ship when you synergize the build. Performatively, it worked fine. Now, that is the look of it. Really kind of makes sense, almost like a beefed up Nova. But the seating that comes with is a Commander Tactical Miracle Worker and a Lieutenant Commander Engineering Miracle Worker. So yeah, you can go crazy on this. It has a 4-3 with an experimental weapon layout there, but the reason for this was the BAQ Warhead Multiple Launch System. So on sort of meta torp builds, I definitely use this. This is like the torpedo equivalent to the actual emulating Phasor Lance. So if the emulating Phasor Lance are more suited for energy builds, this would be more suited for torpedo builds. And this is why Nick gifted us this ship, and of course shout out to you, Nick. But it's a fun ship regardless, and again, it was a canon ship on Lower Decks, and we get purple torps, which are now canon, I guess. I'm not 100% on board with purple torps just yet, but I've used it here and there. Definitely if I use this, well, it's purple. Now, this multiple launch VAQ system is capable of firing and independently guiding up to 12 separate projectiles. All stored charges are fired when the system is activated. Of course, you pair this with universal designs, well then you're going to get the increased performance because of this. So the VAQ warheads are modified by abilities that impact torpedo flight characteristics, but not abilities which impact torpedo damage, so like traits and such. The console additionally provides a passive bonus to hull capacity and passive bonus to kinetic and beam damage. Of course, you can equip this on any ship. So it's pretty good. And again, you just spit out a bunch of torps. According to, so stores up to 12 charges, uses all when firing. Each charge launches a VAQ warhead at random foe within a target of 135-degree arc, which splits into 6 projectiles after 1.25 seconds or default 3 clicks, and of course the damage there. So depending on what you have boosting it, your numbers will vary. But it hit hard, and it really helps the performance, and it's a not bad looking ship. I get it, an automated ship. It works. In all honesty, so there is that. Next up is the Constitution 3, or Neo Connie, from, of course, Star Trek Picard Season 3, which was, of course, the hero ship and is now the Enterprise G. So this ship also was gifted to us on the console bridge, and a huge shout out to Documents for doing so. And we are currently on this ship, and it's a great ship. I really can't say nothing bad about it. And we've actually interviewed and had a chat with Bill Krause, who was the designer of this ship, who got it canonized. And she's just great. Now, in terms of its seating, it's a Commander Engineering Miracle Worker and a Lieutenant Commander Pilot. But look at it. like just the looks alone, I cannot not recommend this. So when I put a beam build on this, it's fun. It's just a fun ship to use in all honesty. Now it does come with some interesting phasers. I don't really see it being used a lot, but I use it on console. It is the narrow angle phaser beam array. So it's narrow angle phaser beam array. It behaves much like a standard phaser array, but sacrifices some angle of firing in exchange for better damage. Only 2 narrow angle arrays may be equipped per Starship. So I do use this on my console account, and it's just great. I don't mind it. Now, it does come with a console that was used when the Titan was escaping that like biomatter well there that we're in, and it actually does do pretty good in my opinion. So activating this console deploys a bioelectric wave that passes through foes, dealing electrical damage to each foe contacted. The ship can ride this wave, gaining bonuses to speed, maneuverability, all subsystem power while remaining near the wave. I love that little attention to detail. This console additionally grants increased energy damage, bonus electrical damage, and weapon subsystem power. This console may be equipped on any ship, so you can have this effect go on there. And for this ship, it actually opens up the nacelles, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Now, the Starship trait Thunder Run sounds pretty cool. While slotted, activating a beam, fire at will, beam overload, or cloaking ability grants bonus beam damage and evasion. Of course, when the word bonus is used, that's category 2 from my understanding. If the ship is in threatening stance, it also improves threat regeneration. So again, you get all that bonus there from the trait. So it's a great ship. It's a cannon ship, the latest Enterprise. So definitely have to recommend this for this event campaign. Now, lastly, our last recommendation, and of course, the 10th ship that they added in the event campaign, is this, the World Razor. Who would have thunk that they would have added this ship in Star Trek Online off of a painting? Off of a painting. We saw this on a painting. Now, when I saw this ship, I actually used the Cygnus to just emulate the ship because I actually loved it. It is so ridiculous how it looks. It works. Like, look, I feel like it's a galaxy in battle mode with the saucer like splitting out there, and it has a bunch of cannons. And again, just the way that it looks, it's kind of goofy how if they would have just kept the deflector here and had this armored sort of grill there, I think that would have been better. But again, it has that look. It was accurate to the painting, and there's a bunch of cannons on this. So this is a great ship and has been now my flagship galaxy ship in Star Trek Online. Again, you can see it there. It has some good looking angles to it, not going to lie. Like the top 3/4 view there, the side profile, the bottom and top profile. It's great. Now, what it features is a Commander Tactical Temp and Lieutenant Commander Command. So it has command. I can't complain. I have my access to my Concentrate Firepower 3, so I love it. Now, this does have the innate ability of the World Juggernaut Array, which is hilarious. It literally is a big blob of phaser fire heading towards enemy. It's great. The console is nothing too great, in my opinion, the light of civilization. But activating this console delivers a foe a tremendous beam of phaser energy dealing damage over time that improves significantly after the first few moments. If the foe is destroyed, it suffers an instant catastrophic core failure, dealing a large amount of kinetic damage to all nearby foes. It is regrettable that other powers in the galaxy continue to oppose the Confederacy. So again, this is a Confederation ship that we saw on a painting that we literally got in stove. It still blows my mind. So again, this console is equipped on can be equipped on any starship. So, and provides a bonus weapon subsystem power and crit severity against low health foes. You can see the tooltip there. The Starship trait isn't that bad as well. Activating a weapon firing mode improves damage dealt for a moderate duration. Dealing weapon damage to a foe that has afflicted you with a control debuff or dot effect removes one such effect and improves the increased damage to double the base value. Removing negative effects has a 1.5 second cooldown perform in PvP, which we don't do anyways. So as you can see here, tooltip when firing mode applies percentage of increased damage for whatever time. Dealing weapon damage to foes have debuff, dotted, or control improves your damage as well. So this ship, this console, I actually use on my LLaP as the also Lance as well. The trait itself is not that bad in terms of it being recommended for traits that you don't have and just are putting placeholders. Why not? Really, until you build your traits pool, you can use this in the time being. And of course, that is why we're on this ship here. We'll go to Stowbridge here. And this is the ship that we're on right now. The World Razor Temp Ops Juggernaut. This is how we built it. We've T6X to it because, yeah, it's my main Galaxy ship. Captains, I apologize about the barking. Just ignore it. My dogs are probably just going crazy because someone doorbelled, but the Admiral's here. So, my apologies, but this definitely is my main recommendation when it comes to the Event 6 campaign of 2024/2025, because of course on console it's still ongoing as the recording of this video. But it's a great Galaxy class to have, in all honesty. You can do torps, you can do beams, it'll perform pretty well in my opinion. And you can have a console that you can actually have put on a Galaxy that looks like a maybe even better performing than the actual Lance it has. So Captains, that is our recommendations for the Tier 6 premium ships. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you recommend and why. I would like to know. And of course, hit the like button to help this video and the overall channel out. Again, we are going to have another events campaign 2025 start soon. And of course, any ships that are released this year will go into 2026. So it's going to be a continuous cycle. And I think still it is a great time to start Star Trek Online career as a captain because of just a great boost. Now, when it comes to the event campaign, it took me 4 event campaigns to finish this just by doing it daily. So when I pop up the event here, I was done by the 4th event. I remember here, the featured event, A Good Day to Die. And of course, the progress you need is 4,200 progress. Now you can definitely still buy out the events if you don't have time to do the events, but the events in itself do give some good rewards there along. May not be the best, but there's still rewards nonetheless. But the main purpose of it, of course, is to get this, because now we don't have to choose between the 3. We get all 3. And that is, of course, how they're going to be moving forward in Star Trek Online when it comes to the event campaign. So again, a great way to start your career, especially if you're new to Star Trek Online, the event campaign definitely. And that is our recommendation for this event campaign 6. So again, Captains, thank you for checking out our videos. And we totally are thankful for all your support here. We've hit 4K subs here on YouTube on the way to 5K. That's all thanks to you, Captains, because we have found like-minded captains as we always are on the lookout for. So with that said, we will leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.